So user Khargoth on our D&D Horror Stories just posted the 44 rules his DM laid out for D&D after his group returned from hiatus. So, these were too good not to share. Number 1. I'm tining turns. I don't give a fuck if it's unfair in your opinion, because your spells are hard on you, or you don't know what square to move to. You get 1 minute to know all the actions you want to take, or I skip your turn. Number 2. If you want harder fights, bring a second character sheet and expect to twiddle your thumbs when you die. I'm not gonna baby anyone. Number 3. If you call me or my rolls unfair, I'll get up and go home. If you gotta ride with me, you can find your own way back and suck it up. Number 4, I'm gonna take your character's loot away as regularly as you want it given out. Rule 3 will apply here. Rule 5. If you don't act out any of your persuasion or intimidation or any other social checks, you fail before you even roll. You fail immediately because you aren't even trying and making the game lame for everyone else. Rule 6. If you don't pick up cues for side quests, that's not my problem. Get over yourself. It's not a video game. It's a role-playing pen and paper-based game with miniatures. I'm not holding your hand if you choose not to pursue shit. Rule 7. If you move to a square in combat, there are no takebacks. Rule 8. You tell every single person what you're doing before you do it. You don't fucking roll dice and then say you're casting Fireball. You tell us all. Rule 9. I will give out exhaustion more frequently. If you argue, go home, or you could DM yourself. Rule 10. Every snide comment you make to an NPC will be remembered and paid back in triplicate. You all seem to believe there is little consequence. Rule 11. You will not be given a mega dungeon every session. A temple is not the size of a small city, neither is a cave. This shit will happen when it's natural and organic. Go play some roguelike if you want that. Rule 12. The travel portion is done. You want to travel continents doing literally whatever you want whenever you want? Go play World of Warcraft, or play D&D with ChatGPT. Rule 13. If you're late with no good reason, I'm going to have your character's hit points for the entire session. Rule 14. If you don't show up for no good reason, and that will be determined by me alone if no one else has the guts to say shit for fear of upsetting one another, the first time you'll find yourself losing either a whole level up or 3 major items of your own. The second time you do it in a row, you will be removed from the chat and the group full stop. I have no fucking time for people to not show up. Rule 15. If you get too stoned or drunk to play, I will go home without warning. Your warning is here. Rule 16. If you get up for bong or smoke or whatever breaks every 10 minutes, I will simply pack up and go home. I am sick of waiting for every bloke to be at the table. Rule 17. Guidance, divination spells, owls, or whatever spells I decide are too fucking stupid or banned. Outright. No more fucking guidance. Rule 18. You get 1 chance at a skill check. If you fuck up, your party does not get their chance to do the same check. Think carefully who's good at what. Rule 19. Discussion of metagame details in-game will result in instant damage to your character. Rule 20. Rules lawyering fellow players is encouraged. Actuallying me will just result in me telling you to fuck off. Rule 21. You roll your dice within view of 2 players who aren't you standard. You roll them neatly, you roll them on the table. Failing to do these 3 things will auto-fail whatever roll you did. Arguing that you actually rolled validly when you clearly didn't is an automatic critical fail. Rule 22. Instant death traps and mechanics are coming into place. If you call these things unfair moving forward, I will laugh at you and tell you to fuck off and cry some more. Rule 23. I will not give you random magical items and vendors will not stock them. These are meant to be rare and hard to acquire. Rule 24. Random encounters in the form of random dragons or strange, mysterious road traders or bands of goblin prostitutes is not going to happen. Go play Baldur's Gate 3. Rule 25. I don't give 2 fucks what Reddit said about X or Y ruling. Wow, this guy really saw ahead, didn't he? Rule 26. I actually give less of a fuck about what your mate's D&D group did. Rule 27. Saying anything to me about other players not liking me doing X or Y without them saying it directly to me will result in me kicking you out of the group. Don't use someone else to push your own agenda. Rule 28. You are not to sit down and have a 2-hour discussion about what Samson from Bundora Secondary did 3 weeks ago when you come to play. Take the 15 to 20 minutes I used to set up and review my notes to talk to each other, then sit down to play. Rule 29, saying shit like, guys come on here, we're not even here to have fun, we're here to play D&D, this is serious business, is rude and dismissive of how much work I put into this. I will simply go home if I hear this shit. Rule 30, don't fucking order food randomly. We will eat together at a specific time or not at all. I don't want food shit all over my things. Rule 31, no food or drinks near any of my D&D gear. If you wreck something, you can pay for it. I let one person trash my DM screen once, and I never had it replaced by them. In fact, I had that person attempt to gaslight me into believing they didn't wreck my shit at all. I'm not stupid. You're an adult. Accept responsibility. Rule 32, arguments between party members outside of roleplay will be resolved by me giving the definitive ruling. If you don't like it, fuck off back home. Rule 33, I don't give a fuck what they did on Critical Role, or what that one guy in Reddit said, or if you think it's all make-believe so you can do what you want. The world I run works on internal rulings and lore I created specifically for it. Rule 34, every single person in this chat is having debuffs applied to their characters that should have occurred a long time ago. This will be specific to characters. 35, if you don't bring your sheet, you don't play. Rule 36, if you don't bring dice, borrow some. 37, when we play D&D, I am not your friend. That doesn't mean you treat me like an enemy during the game. It means I am no longer being nice. Rule 38, if you treat me poorly in any way, shape, or form after or during or before the game due to something that happened in the game, you are out. If you cannot separate a game from reality, I think you are a fucking moron, and I have little time to deal with that energy. Rule 39, you will submit your spell list daily in-game. If you do not give me a spell list each in-game day, you will not be allowed to cast a single spell or cantrip in combat. I do not trust you guys to not use this against me. Rule 40, if you do not mark off spell slots, or you say something like, I remember what I'm at, as a way to justify it, I will simply fail your spell, deal half your health and damage to you, and say you have no spells to cast for the rest of the day. Rule 41, if you break literally anything, you buy the replacement that day, or not attend until you do. Rule 42, if you complain about the choice of music, I fully expect you to bring a whole playlist next session, or shut the fuck up. Rule 43, cannot stress enough how little I care about how you feel about my rulings from now on. Oh, and Rule 44, I'm never just threatening you, I'm promising you. And, I love top comment here from Asenath Dark. I feel I understand why your group went on hiatus. This was fun.